Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Bright Show Podcast Boxing. My name is Bright, and this is the final prediction for Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Now, look, I've gone back and forth in my head about who wins this fight so many times. Initially, when this fight was made, I thought Canelo Alvarez wins this fight because he's the bigger guy, he's the bona fide super middleweight champion, and he's a great fighter. And I thought that Terence Crawford, although he is also a great fighter, he will be moving up too many weight division and that will catch up with him. But then I thought I am not going to make the same mistakes I did when Alexander Usyk moved up to heavyweight and I thought he was too small. Usyk proved me wrong. And you have Roy Jones Jr., who also moved up in so many weight divisions to become a heavyweight champion. So I was giving Terence Crawford a lot of chance to win this fight. But I have changed my mind after looking at both fighters during fight week, analysing their body language, analysing the way they want to approach this fight. I think that this fight ends differently to the way I thought it would initially. Now, before I tell you my prediction for this fight, let's talk about legacy. Now, when we talk about legacy, for Canelo Alvarez, if he wins this fight, everyone goes, yes, of course, he's meant to win this fight. He is the bigger guy. He is the bona fide super middleweight. He has the advantage and therefore it should be a clear win for him. I don't think that Canelo will get a lot of respect and a lot of credit if he wins this fight. If Canelo goes in there and loses this fight, now all of a sudden, Canelo's resume has these question marks that people are going to ask. Was he good enough? He did not beat Terence Crawford. And every time that people have these debate about how great Canelo is, people are always going to bring the fact that he lost to the smaller fighter coming up in weight. So for Canelo, I think the bare minimum is to win this fight and is to win it convincingly. For Terence Crawford, if he goes in there and he loses this fight, everyone goes, yes, of course, he dared to be great and he came up short. People will give him respect for it because he's moving up in weight, he's a smaller guy, and he's achieved a lot in his career. So it does not mean much if he loses this fight. People will give him credit for it. If he goes in there and he stops or he wins against Canelo Alvarez, now all of a sudden, people will give Terence Crawford a lot of credit because he moved up in weight, he dared to be great, he's become great, his resume is going to look different. Now all of a sudden, people are going to say Terence Crawford is one of the best fighters ever. They'll compare him to Ali, they'll compare him to Floyd Mayweather, and he will be deserving of that. So I think this fight, in terms of legacy, it bodes well for Terence Crawford to win this fight than it is for Canelo to lose this fight. So Canelo has no option but to win this fight. And for Terence Crawford, if he's going to be mentioned amongst the greats, then he needs to win this fight and he needs to win it convincingly. Even if he loses this fight, he still gets some respect. Now, I think the main problem for Terence Crawford in this fight is inactivity. If we look at Terence Crawford's record, since 2021, Terence Crawford has fought once a year, every year. And that is not good enough, especially at the top level. So in November 2021, Terence Crawford fought Sean Porter. He then fought David Avanesian in December 2022. And then in July 2023, he fought Errol Spence Jr., which I thought was his best career performance. Great fight, great win. And then he fought in August 2024, Israel Madrimov. So as you can see, Terence Crawford has not been busy enough. He has not been active enough. And when you're fighting a guy as good and as sharp as Canelo Alvarez is, you have to be sharp on yourself. You have to be in shape and you have to be ready for all eventualities. And I think this is where Terence Crawford is going to be found wanting because the ring rust and the inactivity is going to catch up with him at some point in this fight because Canelo would know that Crawford has not fought as frequent enough to be fighting him. So Canelo would know when to increase the pace in the fight to make sure that he can get the advantage over the fighter who has been inactive. If you look at Canelo's record, he has fought almost 2 times every year consistently. And that is something that has boded well for Canelo in his career. And that is why he's been able to have the longevity he's had so far and the type of fight he's been able to take and won, and the legacy he's built, because Canelo has been very, very consistent and he's been a great fighter along the way as well. Canelo will definitely have some problems to do with Terence Crawford's speed, agility, boxing IQ, and trying to pin Terence Crawford down is going to be really dangerous. So for me, it'll be interesting to see if Terence Crawford can adapt to Canelo's style in the ring, and it'll be interesting to see how Canelo also adapts to Terence Crawford's style in the ring, because we know Terence Crawford in most fights takes the time to work out his opponents, and then from round 4 and 5 Terence Crawford goes to work and he really works his opponents out and try to get them out of there. With Canelo, we know he starts fast, he finishes fast, he's a monster, he hits hard, and he's going to be dangerous from round 1 to round 12. So Terence Crawford has to be very, very careful of Canelo's power, Canelo's speed as well, and the fact that Canelo can get him out of there at any point in this fight. Look, it's an interesting fight. For my final prediction, I think Canelo Alvarez wins this fight very close. I think it's going to be a very close fight. I think it's going to be nip and tuck. I think that Canelo will win this fight very closely. Now, I think the judges will give this fight to Canelo because, as we know, it's happened in boxing one too many times. When the decision is very close and very tight, the favorite fighter has always got the nod. And I just think that Canelo Alvarez is going to get the nod over Terence Crawford in this fight because it's going to be a close fight. I don't think that anyone gets knocked out in this fight. I think it's going to be a beautiful, incredible fight. I think it's going to be competitive, and Canelo will come away with the win on a very close decision because he's the favorite fighter, unfortunately. So look, this is how I think the fight will go. What do you think? How do you break this fight down? How do you think this fight go? Get in the comment section and let me know. Don't forget to support the channel, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave your comments in the section below. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.